Good morning, class. Today is Monday, May 11th, and this week in math we are going to be talking about time, and today we're going to be looking at how to convert units of time. So we measure time with lots of different units. We have seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years, decades, millenniums, centuries. For this day, we're going to be just looking at the first few there, the seconds, minutes, hours, days, and weeks. We're going to look at how you convert one of the units to another one of the units. So one of the tricks that you need to remember is if you are making the units of time bigger, you need to divide. So if this unit of time you are converting to is longer than the unit of time you are converting from, you have to divide. So if you're going from seconds to minutes, you have to divide. Minutes to hours, you have to divide. Hours to days, divide. And days to weeks, you have to divide. When you're going the opposite way, when you're going from a longer period of time to a shorter period of time, you multiply. So weeks to days, you multiply. Days to hours, you multiply. Hours to minutes, you multiply. And minutes to seconds, you multiply. I have that all laid out here. What you need to remember is you need to multiply or divide by the unit of the smaller one. Sorry. So you need to divide by the number of whatever there is of the smaller one in the larger one. So if you're going from hours to days, hours are shorter than days, so you are either dividing by 24 or multiplying by 24. Because hours are shorter than days, so we need to go by 24 because there's 24 hours in a day. Similarly, if we are going from seconds to minutes, seconds are shorter than minutes. So we need to go by 60, whether we are dividing and going into minutes or minutes to seconds, we need to go by 60 because seconds are shorter than minutes. So we need to go by how many seconds there are in a minute, which is 60. So sometimes you may have to go from seconds to hours or hours to seconds. And if you do that, you're going to have to do a two-step process. First, you're going to have to divide, and then you're going to have to divide again. Same if you're going from days to minutes, minutes to weeks, hours to weeks, weeks to minutes. Whatever the case is, you might have to do the unit, division or multiplication twice. So let's take a look at what it might look like. First, we'll do a simple one. We'll go from minutes to hours, and then we'll do a more complicated one where we will go from weeks to hours. So we will divide twice and go from weeks to hours. Okay? Multiply twice and go from weeks to hours. We wouldn't divide there. So let's go from minutes to hours. We're going to say that somebody ran a marathon. And they ran a marathon and it took them 264 minutes to run the marathon. And we want that in hours because 264 minutes is it's a big number. And we're not sure exactly how many hours that is. So we want to turn that into hours. So when we're going from minutes to hours, we need to divide. So we're going to go 264 minutes to hours. So we need to divide 264 divided by 60. Okay? So we'll have our little division chart over here. Hopefully I left myself enough room. I don't think I did. I'll probably have to erase part of the seconds. So how many times can we put 60 into 2? Obviously the answer is 0. 0 times 60 is 0. 2 minus 0 is 2. Bring down the 6. I'll just preemptively erase part of our seconds here. So let's put that up here. And how many times can 60 go into 26? Still 0. 0 times 60 is still 0. 26 minus 0, 26. Bring down the 4. So how many times can we do that? So let's do our skip counting. 60, 120, 180, 240, 300. Oh, 240 is the highest we're going to go with it without going over. So 240, 1, 2, 3, that is 4. 4 times 60 is 240. And we have 24 here. Now, we have one of two things here. We can either do a remainder, but in time we don't really have a remainder. So we are going to have to put in our decimal spot and drop that imaginary 0 down. So now we have 240 again. Oh, we just had that up there. So we know again it will be 4. 4 times 60, 240. 240 minus 240 is 0. So if we are converting 264 minutes to hours, that will give us 4 4/10 hours. Do you see how we divided 264 by 60, and that gave us 4 4/10, so 4 4/10 hours. We also could say 4 hours and 24 minutes, so the remainder we could still leave in minutes and say 4 hours and 24 minutes, but you can also put it in the decimal place like we did there. Now we are going to go from weeks to hours. So we are going to multiply weeks to get to hours. So let me just erase this up top. I'll leave the division on the side in case you want to look at it, but we are going to go from 4 weeks, and we are going to convert it to hours. So if you look here, we are going to need to multiply by 7 and multiply by 24. We can do it either, we can multiply it in any order, so we can multiply 7 by 24 and then that number by 4, or we can multiply 4 by 7 and then that number by 24. So let's do 4 by 7 first, because that is an easier one. That is one of our mental math facts. 4 times 7 equals 28. So we have converted from weeks to days. We have 28 days in 4 weeks, but we still want to get to hours. So now we need to multiply 28 days by 24 hours. All right, so we have 28 days, and we need to multiply by 24 hours. So we can do either box multiplication, you can use lattice, you can stack it, whichever one makes you most comfortable. I'm going to stack it right now because I don't have a lot of room on my board, and that takes up the least amount of space for me. So 4 times 8, 32. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11. We need to drop a 0 when we're going over to the 2 here. 2 times 8 is 16. Bring up a 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And now we need to add those two together. 2 plus 0 is 2. 1 plus 6 is 7. And 1 plus 5 is 6. So we know that 4 weeks is equal to 672 hours. Four weeks is 672 hours. That's a really long time. Or at least it seems that way when you have it in hours. So hopefully you don't have any trouble with this, but if you do, feel free to email me. It is all multiplication in hours. I did not mean to erase the 60 there. It's all a pattern, and we are either going to be dividing or multiplying at all times. I hope you have a great day. I will talk to you again soon. Bye for now.